Hello, Madeline here. I hope you're doing fantastic. And thank you for taking the time to drop in to this video. I know that time is precious, and very often we get the illusion that there's not enough time and that we have to hurry and be quick in life. So thank you for allowing yourself to tune into you and to stop and allow yourself the time to connect with yourself. So I wanted to have a chat today about mindset. So there's a lot of talk about mindset right now. And if you go online, you can find lots and lots of information about mindset. And there are these sentences and words getting thrown around at the moment to do with that if you change your mindset, you change your life. Mindset is everything, and all this sort of stuff. And very often, what I've noticed as well is that we talk about mindset as is this cognitive thing. And part of it is cognitive, right? Because we have a conscious mind that is cognitive and creative. But underneath all that, there is a program that is being run by your subconscious mind. And underneath that program is your core beliefs. And your core beliefs have been created for a very, very long time in your life. And they are pretty much running the show for you, whether you like it or not. And obviously, if we've had a lot of problems in our lives, then those core beliefs might be or might not be supporting us the best way possible. So a lot of people believe that we need to go to a psychologist or someone like that in order to figure out what those core beliefs are and if they are supporting me or not. And you kind of don't. It's pretty simple to figure out your core beliefs or your subconscious programming. All you need to do is look at your life, look at your present moment, and look where you're at. Look at what's happening in your life. Look at what's going on up here. Look at if you are happy where you're at. And that pretty much determines your subconscious programming. Because depending on your programming, on your programs, that determines your future and your reality right now. So it's pretty simple to look at the core beliefs and say, oh, I'm not really happy where I'm at, or I'd like more of this, or I wish I had that, or I wish I was here, whatever, right? And we can figure out if there are things that we want more of in life, whether that's an emotion, a feeling, or whether that is a thing, or whether that is something we would like to do in our life, whatever that is. And we all have things we want to do, or we want to be, or want to create, right? So that's cool. Core beliefs are pretty much easy to figure out. However, the problem occurs when we try and fix those beliefs. Because very often what we get told to do is we get told to repeat something over and over again, using positive affirmations, think positively or all that, or read great books by people that have figured all this out, which is great because the people that have written those books have. But when we read a book or when we try and change ourselves, it's conscious, first of all. It's in our conscious mind. And our conscious mind, our creative mind, is separate. They're connected, but they're still two different parts of who we are. And our core beliefs and our truth, our real truth, is in our subconscious programming. So when we read that book and we feel like we've changed, or we go to that seminar or whatever we're doing, and we feel like we've really created some massive, beautiful changes in our lives, that might be so. But the difficulty comes when we try and keep those changes in our lives, because chances are that they are not in balance with our true core beliefs. Because in order to change those beliefs, in order to change underneath the surface of who we are, we have to go deeper. A lot deeper. And there are different ways to do this, right? Because if you think about it, from when you were born up until you were around about 7 years old, and a lot of people know this, you were in theta, which is hypnosis. Hence the reason why if we get ourselves into a state of hypnosis and we help to program or reprogram or rewrite our subconscious program in there, it's going to be a lot more helpful. So we can do that. So that's one thing we can do. The second thing we can do is use repetition, because the subconscious mind learns by repetition. So yes, it's true that if we repeat something over and over again, chances are that it will go into our subconscious, but it will take a long time. We will have to do it for a long time. It's like learning to ride your bike. You didn't just learn it from one day to the other, even though, well, I don't know about your kids, but my kids think that they can learn anything in round about 5 minutes. And if they don't, they freak out. But that's another story, right? But we need to repeat it for a long time in order for it to work. Nothing wrong with that. And the same goes for reading a book. If we want insights from a book, we really need to potentially read it more than once. We need to ingest that information more than once. So repetition is great. Subconscious learns from repetition. But again, it takes a long time. Same as hypnosis can take a long time. I mean, it's quicker than a lot of other stuff, but it can still take a little bit of a long time. But then there's a third way. Well, there's actually two more ways. The third one is shock. So when we are faced with something that shocks us and freaks us out to the bone, our subconscious learns very quickly. But I'm assuming that's not the kind of change that we are wanting. But still good information, right? Because that explains why when we are in a situation where trauma happens to us, it doesn't matter what age we are, that programs or shocks right down onto a subconscious level really, really quickly. It's instant, and it's fear as well. So it's fear-based. So that's even more a reason for it to go really deep on us. So it's a good information, but it's nothing that we use in order to support you to transform. So we've got repetition, we got hypnosis, or getting into a hypnotic state, theta brainwaves, which is something we don't have to go into here, but it's basically a slower form of a brainwave that we go into. Shock, which is not preferable, maybe most of the time. And then there's a fourth one, which I love working with. And that's when we get into a place of super learning. It's called energetic psychology or energy psychology. It's when we actually help our clients or ourselves to get into a place of complete super learning. we are connected to our subconscious, and we don't even have to go into a hypnotic state as such, but we are accessing the subconscious mind really quickly. There are quite a few different ways to do that. There are a few modalities out there. I use a specific technique to do that, which has been proven and it's been on the go for 30 odd years, which is really powerful. And when you combine that with deep transformational work, something magical happens. And we can eradicate and change our subconscious programming in sometimes minutes, which is pretty amazing. Because what we're doing is we're accessing our subconscious mind and our nervous system and our body's information, wisdom. And we can basically reprogram ourselves. Now, when I do this in a session, I do it with my client. And it doesn't matter if that person is in the room or if they are on the other side of the screen, like I'm talking to you right now. As long as I can interact with that person, it doesn't really matter where they are in the world, because I've got specific tools to be able to do that wherever you are. So powerful, right? Really, really powerful, because no longer do we have to actually sit with all this emotional pain or trauma from the past. We can actually let that go really, really quickly. And the cool thing is that we don't have to re-traumatize. We don't actually really have to go back and even talk about specific things. We can do that, do the work anyway, which is so amazing and so cool. So what I've learned, adding this sort of knowledge into what I do right now, and also adding it into my own personal development, is that we are deep down a lot simpler and profound than we are often led to believe. Because on the surface is very often where we try and help people, right? And on the surface, life can look so extremely complicated because there's so many variables. There's so much going on, right? There's you know, the history of a human being, and there's the you know, the perception of a human being, and it's, you know, who did what and why and when this happened, and you know, it can take you down into a spiral and it can get you very confused. But when you go down underneath it all, it's really quite simple. And I don't mean simple in a way to make you feel that what you have been through isn't hard, or it hasn't made a really big impact on you, and that it doesn't deserve to be sort of recognized. Not at all. It definitely does. But it doesn't have to define you for the rest of your life. Because if it does define you for the rest of your life, then that means that we have to play that victim for ourselves. And wouldn't it be more exciting and more amazing if we can step away from that victimhood and embrace who we truly are? Wouldn't it be more exciting if we brought more self-awareness to ourselves and to how we show up in the world? That's the game that I want to play. And that's the game I play with my clients. And it's not about me doing anything to them. I'm working with them. We're working together to create and recreate and redefine who you are and how you want to show up and what you want to bring into your life. And so underneath the surface of the confusion and the chaos and the history of a human being and the history of you and the traumas and the pains and the anxiety and things that you've faced in your life and things that you're still facing in life, like underneath all that is you, your wise self, you, yourself. And a lot of us are not connected to that person yet. Or a lot of us has disconnected from that part of ourselves. And when we reconnect to that, something just magical happens. We truly find ourselves and we start looking for deep meaning and deep purpose. So, mindset, when we often hear about it, you can hear a lot of people talking about mindset and how they can help you to change your mindset and all this sort of stuff. But it goes a lot deeper than that. Your mindset, if you think about it as a cognitive function, you can change your mindset cognitively by repeating and repeating and repeating, and maybe do a few hypnotic things in order to try and change it, right? But it's still hard work. You might get the result, but it's just, you got to work quite hard to get there. So when you access super learning and you access the knowledge and the information that's already there, and we get the tools, and we have the tools and techniques in order to change those beliefs, rewrite those core beliefs so that they start supporting you instead, and we start letting go, or allowing yourself to let go of the stresses over that traumas that you've been through, those emotional pains you've been through. It's just another game. And it's so much quicker. And it's really profound and beautiful work. So, mindset is everything, I suppose. But often not the mindset that you hear people talking about. It goes a lot deeper than that. It's about accessing the depths of yourself. You know, it's getting to a place of total deep awareness and deep knowing. And you know, that's where the fun begins. So often, you know, when I work with clients, we want to release that trauma and stress straight away. Because the quicker we do that, the quicker you can get to a place in your life where you're starting to create what you want to create. There's no point in being there for longer than necessary. You've already spent a lot of your time there. So why not let go of what needs to let go, access the gold, extract the gold from it, and take the wisdom with you, and then walk into a new future. And we do that through accessing super learning in your brain, in your mind. It's fascinating stuff. It's powerful stuff. And it's mindset change on a whole different level. So, what do you want to change in your life? What would you like to create? And what would you like to let go of? Like forever? What stresses do you want to let go of forever so that you can focus your mind on the stuff that really matters to you? Because when we are focusing ourselves, or when we have a lot of stress that we are holding on to, whether that's through trauma, emotional pain, whatever's happened in our past, is a form of stress and pressure on ourselves, body, mind, soul, spirit. So when we let go of that quickly and easily through these tools and techniques, we have so much more time to spend on the things that really matters, and we can access deep meaning and deep purpose, and we can move away from this hype of creating a life that looks good on the outside and access what's really important from the inside. And yes, it kind of is like being reborn in a funny way, and yes, it could feel scary, but speaking from experience, from my own personal experience, it's one of the most amazing things you can do for yourself, and it changes your hero's journey for yourself. You know, it's a beautiful thing to do for yourself. So if it's time to let go of stress quickly and easily so that you can really tap into your own wisdom and your own innate power and deep purpose, let's chat and let's do this mindset thing in a way that's going to really make a difference in your life. I hope this serves you. Wishing you a gorgeous, beautiful day.